Two men never met. One died writing philosophy notes in a military tent on the Danube frontier. The other spent 40 years sharpening steel he hoped he'd never draw in anger. Separated by 6,000 miles and 11 centuries, Marcus Aurelius and Miyamoto Musashi built almost the same answer to the same 5 problems. Today, Stoicism is everywhere, quoted in boardrooms, printed on gym walls, dissected in 1,000 videos. Type Stoicism into any search bar, and the results stack up for pages. Summaries, breakdowns, 1,000 explainer videos. Bushido, the samurai's code, barely registers as a fraction of that. Not because the philosophy is weaker, but because almost nobody is telling its story to a modern audience. That's strange, because when you put their answers side by side on failure, fear, anger, ambition, and death, they don't just resemble each other. Sometimes they collide. Both were built for the same kind of person, someone who can't control the outcome and has to find a way to act well anyway. One tradition wrote that discipline into private notebooks. The other wrote it into a sword. By the end of this video, you'll watch both traditions answer the same 5 moments life throws at everyone. Then you decide which one actually holds up. Round 1. Failure. Epictetus was born a slave in the Roman Empire. He owned nothing. Legend says his master twisted his leg until it broke, and Epictetus didn't flinch. His answer to failure was simple and brutal. Divide the world into what is yours to control and what isn't. Your reputation, your outcome, other people's opinion, not yours. Your judgment, your effort, your response, yours alone. Fail at the first category, and you haven't actually failed at anything that was ever within your power. Musashi's failure wasn't a duel, it was a war. Tradition places him at Sekigahara, barely more than a boy, fighting on the side that lost everything, and walking away a masterless Ronin, with nothing left to serve. His answer wasn't a mental division of control. It was a written rule. In the Dokudo, the code he wrote days before his death, he ordered himself, "Never regret what you have done." Not because regret is unpleasant, because it wastes the only resource failure leaves you: the next decision. Same conclusion, different machinery. The Stoic reclassifies the event. The samurai refuses to relive it. Round 2. Fear. Seneca kept a habit that sounds almost morbid. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Each morning, he rehearsed his own ruin, poverty, exile, death, on purpose. Fear loses most of its power the moment it stops being a surprise. The samurai ran the same experiment with a sharper edge. The Hagakure, Yamamoto Tsunetomo's teachings, dictated to his student over 7 years, opens with a line that still unsettles people 3 centuries later. The way of the samurai is found in death. Every morning, meditate on your own death, imagined in every possible form. until the thought no longer moves you. A warrior who has already died in his own mind cannot be frightened into hesitation on the battlefield. Two cultures, two very different doors. Same room on the other side? Rehearse the worst, so the worst stops being able to surprise you. Round 3, anger. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote to himself at night, not for an audience, for discipline. On anger, his private notebook is unambiguous. How much more damage anger does than the things that first made us angry. For a Stoic, losing your temper isn't strength. It's proof you've handed control of your own mind to somebody else. The samurai trained for the same failure differently, through the body, not the notebook. Zen breathing, seated meditation, hour after hour before a sword was ever drawn. The goal wasn't calm as a personality trait. It was calm as a weapon. A swordsman who flinches, who flares, telegraphs his next move before he makes it. Composure isn't the absence of anger. It's the refusal to let anger choose for you. Round 4, ambition. Here, the two traditions start to pull apart. The Stoics were suspicious of ambition itself. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive, spent his private writing reminding himself that fame, applause, even the empire itself would be forgotten within a generation. Chase virtue, not glory, because glory is somebody else's opinion, and opinion was never yours to control. The samurai kept ambition, but rerouted it. Saigo Takamori, one of the most celebrated men in Meiji Japan, walked away from power at its peak, and in the end was pulled into a rebellion he almost certainly knew he couldn't win, his loyalty to the old warrior code outweighing his own survival. Bushido doesn't ask you to want less. It asks you to want something bigger than yourself, until ambition and duty become the same thing. One philosophy tries to quiet ambition. The other tries to aim it. Round 5, death. Both traditions end here, because both start here. The Stoics called it memento mori, remember you will die. Not as a threat, as an instruction. Act like a person who's aware time is finite, because you are one. The samurai lived inside that instruction full time. Death wasn't a thought experiment reserved for the battlefield. It was a daily meditation, sometimes literal. The Hagakure recommends imagining your own execution in vivid detail before breakfast, so that when the moment actually came, on any given day, it found you ready, not resisting. Neither tradition is obsessed with dying. Both are obsessed with what facing death honestly does to the way you live before it. 5 rounds. Failure, fear, anger, ambition, death. Not one of them went the way you'd expect from a gentle philosophy versus a warrior code. So which one actually works today? Stoicism gives you a private discipline, a way to run your own mind when nobody is watching and nothing external is coming to save you. Bushido gives you a public one, a code that only means something in relationship to other people, your lord, your name, your word. Strip away the swords and the notebooks, and modern life asks for exactly this combination. A private discipline for the mornings no one is watching. A public code for the moments your actions are the only proof of what you actually believe.
Most days, you need both. Two men who never met built the same 5 answers from opposite directions. One alone with a notebook, one with a sword he trained never to need. The philosophy war was never real. It's the same discipline wearing 2 different uniforms. Which one actually wins today's 5 rounds? Failure, fear, anger, ambition, death. Put your verdict in the comments. Stoic, samurai, or Thai?